Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the X-Men 97. To us, our GeekVerse. I'm the Clown Prince of Vision, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by...
I'm your new boss, Kirkland Patzer.
I'm Papa's Bison Chili, Dylan Muzz.
I'm the Motendo, Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the 4th episode of X-Men 97, like I had previously mentioned. As usual, head down to the bottom for everything you need to know is down there below. I mixed up the rhyme, but that's where everything is. You can find our weekly cast, retrospective side quests, lots of good reviews popping off in April. Monkey Man with myself and hopefully Kirkland Patzer, Civil War with myself and hopefully Dylan Musk. Taylor's really not on any of these reviews.
Wow.
Taylor's gonna be there.
Taylor's got his ticket
Damn.
already for Civil War.
You just got
No.
benched, dude.
That's a
What was that
fake
other review
ticket.
you got benched for a few months ago?
I
Can't even remember anymore. Just like that, it's gone.
On that note of
remember
Civil
this.
War,
I saw it happen.
the theater for Civil War is so tiny
GV
that I
big.
was like, GV big. Like we could normally Travis when
We could
sits,
what?
when he's alone,
We
he
could
sits in
what?
the back
We
row,
could
and I was
just
like, you
Jerk
know
each
what?
other out.
In this context of the theater
War.
being so small, we could all sit in the back row because it's literally like 5 rows away from the front of the screen.
Yeah.
But Travis like, no, I only do that when I'm alone. So
Where do
You
think
said
I'm
that in
sitting
a
for
very
It's a solo
confusing way,
joke.
I gotta
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
There's
no,
like a question
I'll-
mark at the end of that sentence, I think.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
That's where I'm sitting for Monkey Man. I'm right in the back as a full theater, but like, no, I'm alone. I'm not sitting in the middle. We've gone over that. There's many casts. I don't mind talking about it again in the future, but not today. We're here to talk about X-Men. Dylan Moss, I'm going to start off, as usual, we do non-spoilers, but I'm going to start with you for a very specific reason. If you want to spoil a certain portion of the episode, I think you're fine to, because I'm sure people have saw that, but I got to start with you for a very specific reason, because I feel a certain character, and I can't even remember with that said character if we knew they were in here this season or not.
I don't think
can't
so.
Yeah, I can't remember what's conjecture and what is fact anymore, much like everything in life. But what do you think about the Motendo / Life Death Part 1?
Yeah, it was interesting just from the structure of the show to see something a bit different here where they kind of had 2 episodes in one. And since these episodes are a little bit longer than what the original show is, you kind of have 2 episodes that are still shorter than what an original series episode length would be. But it's fun to have kind of 2 separate stories in there in a kind of a separate way. And then obviously we know that this is like part 1 of a story that's not going to be followed up on next week until the week after. So I like that they're kind of toying with the structure here in an interesting way. But I, once again, had a great time with this. I think, controversially, because of a certain character that's in here, I think this is my least favorite episode of the 4. But it's just because the bar has been set so freaking high. I think one issue I had with this favorite character of mine coming back is that we spent a lot of time like setting up who he is and what he does, and like I already know that stuff, so I didn't really need any of that. I feel like we spent like 2 or 3 minutes just kind of doing an origin backstory thing, which was maybe a bit too much, but then the rest of it was really fun. I think both episodes individually, if you look at them that way, are fun and interesting for different ways. There's a couple character things in the second part, the life death section, that I'm excited to talk to you guys about because I felt a little strange with, felt a little bit weird with some of them, but yeah, I'm excited to get into it. I think this is a fun episode once again, and yeah, I just love the mix up of the structure. I think that's my favorite part about this episode, or these 2 episodes, however you want to talk about it.
I'm going to go with a man who looks like he also has something in his eye, just like myself, Mr. Kirkland Patzer. What do you think about SO4?
Yeah, I would agree with Dylan that this is my least favorite episode out of the 4. Just, I think, purely on the fact that it has been set so high on the bar. There is a character that comes back that I really did not like at all in that first first version of the show. I'm excited to talk about that. And yeah, I was kind of surprised on the like the usage of 2 episodes in this one, the little twofer, just because I don't know. I feel like the runtime of it didn't seem like it was super short. Like I felt like we were at like a full length of episode by the time that we got to the second parter. So it was just like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot that it has 2 titles. So that kind of threw me for a loop. But I do like the bit of shakeup of structure as to what Dylan was pointing out, especially that continuing on for what is it, life death part? Yeah, like
1.
that'll be after next week's episode. So overall, like I was still positive on it. I think some of the issues that I have with a certain character, I think once we got into the meat and potatoes of what the action was, I was actually totally into it. Like I was surprised how much I was enjoying what was going on there. So yeah, for the most part, this is still a positive trend for sure, but noticeable step down for me. Just because, man, Goblin Queen last week, like it was just sort of super hype wave to jump off of, but still loving the show.
Mr. Field, you gonna concur?
I feel like this is the lowest out of the batch so far for me. That being said, I am flabbergasted at some of the visual representations here and just the beauty of the animation style and some very cool portrayals that I was not expecting. I thought it was super, super fun. I don't know why, but there's certain character that appeared in this episode just went over my head until I visibly saw them. Thought like, holy shit, this person's back. That's crazy, but
Okay.
yeah.
I just saw you talking about our main antagonist, and it's like, man, why did it take you to like the end of the episode? But okay, we're all good.
Yeah. It was great though. Holy shit!
Go.
The two separated episodes though kind of combined in here was a little throw me off a wee bit. So that being said, I thought it was cool. I mean, if the second part of this, I feel like I got some cryptid action going on in here. That was pretty crazy. So overall, I think that it's, like you guys have said already, the bar is set really, really high based on those storylines and the episodes that we've gotten so far. And I like that this is all just this cohesive continuation. And this definitely didn't feel like a filler, even though it was pretty much a filler episode. I appreciate the attention that we got with Jubilee's character, because I really enjoyed her adventure throughout this episode quite a bit. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I'm glad that we got to, while I feel like this could have been two separate episodes, I'm glad we touched upon what's going on with the other character in the back half, because I feel like I was just getting kind of curious, and it seems like there's a lot more going on there. There's a lot of goddess talk going on from all these mutant guys lately. So
The mutant guys.
a lot of love.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything original to say. Unfortunately, I have pretty much the same take for sure as Dylan Kirkland. I don't know about Taylor; he's off on something else. But no, I think it's tough when all those were the debut was that nostalgia kick. Number 2 is that like, oh man, look at the stakes, and number 3 is the oh shit, look at all this kind of results to that. Right? I think we got some good little tidbits here. I think it is like, I guess it could be a filler, but at least there's like two. I like there's something that happened with Jubilee, and then there's some more stuff with Storm and even Forge. Not a spoil, he's in there. So like I feel like it kind of was. I'm glad they did this route and we didn't. I guess it'd be different because what is it? It's 10 episodes. So if they were telling me I had 11 episodes, then fine, do 2 full episodes. But if it was, hey, you got 10 episodes, I'm glad this was a split. I think that the Motendo got enough time, like as much time as it needed. And then I'm interested to see, which I'll look at when we're getting to spoilers, what the title episode is next week, because I'm going to be curious of why we didn't just get all of Life Death like this week and the next week. But we talked about that already, I guess, a bit before, right? Where there might be some sort of reason. So yeah, I liked both parts, but it's just like it's the heights of that other one. It's just very like the first 3. It's very tough to me. I think it's kind of unfair. So I guess this is just almost a complaint where I just wish we want less, but I would have been fine if this was 20 episodes. So it could have been like the old days where we had just those weird, fun knockoff episodes. I liked what we got here, and I actually think some of the visuals were the best, especially in the first half. Some of the crazy characters and even our main antagonist, I felt they were looking like really, really cool. So yeah, overall a good episode. I'm hoping next week we get back to some nitty gritty, because we left off. Maybe I'd like this episode even more if I had a few more questions answered from last week, but that's okay. We still got we got some stuff coming up. And as I'm always reminded, the finale is a 3-parter. So I just feel like we're gonna, if we don't get a lot of maybe juice in these next few episodes, those last 3 are gonna really go for it. That's like an hour and a half of, I think, going for it. Some hopefully home runs. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, we'll take a little break here. We'll get into spoilers and then we'll be right back. And we're back. So I have to go back to Mr. Field there. Mr. Field, who was the person you were not expecting to see?
Mojo.
Really?
I saw the Nintendo and I thought, oh, this is cool. Like, what's gonna go on here? And I didn't even like. I don't know if it was just so it was like pixelated or what I was looking at. I couldn't tell if it was Mojo on the cartridge or whatnot.
I think he's unfortunately in the thumbnail of the episode.
I didn't see the thumbnail.
And I feel like maybe I'm wrong because I watched it last night and then I rewatched a bit of it this morning. You said like you didn't know who it was till like the last 2 minutes. I feel like Mojo appeared earlier than the last 2 minutes of his part.
Last 2 minutes?
That's it. You said something like that. You said like, oh, till the very end, I didn't know who it was. And that's I
You're
was
about
like,
to get fact checked right hard right now.
I don't know
Well,
if I said it like
there
that.
was-
I meant like right up to the point where
Once
he
you saw his
actually
face.
appears. Yeah, as
Yeah,
soon as I
yeah,
saw his
okay.
face, that's it. But the point leading to it, like the Motendo and everything, that's where I didn't clue in.
The voice is a bit different,
Yeah,
as most
definitely.
voices are. And I mean, common. I think for me, once again, saw the thumbnail. I swear he was in there. At least when I saw the thumbnail, I knew he was going to be in there. So it makes me think that he was. But so yeah, I think that took away a bit of the surprise. But man, what a fun sequence that was, and I think it was great that it was something different than what we saw from Mojo back in the day too. He's kind of evolved his game, and he's seeing like, oh, video games are the new hotness, which is kind of an interesting take for like the year 1997 in this universe. But I'm into
he was
it.
forward thinking, you know.
Yeah.
He was all up on the Twitch streaming.
Yeah,
and all
exactly. Yeah.
esports
He's a
ahead
forward
of his
thinker.
time.
He's like Kojima, pretty much. He's like a game designer now, right? And he's seeing the future. So he's It's a 1-to-1. But yeah, I thought that was really a really fun switch up for the character. And obviously, we're all huge gamers here and stuff. And just seeing the pixel art versions, which looked great, like. Man, the Savage Land section with Sauron in the pixel art, I was like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
I want to play this game right now. Even though I'm sure there is some X-Men beat 'em up, and I hate beat 'em ups, so I don't even think I'd like the game.
There
but I still want to
is.
play it.
There, even if you want a lot, we should do that for the charity stream maybe because there is one, and the aesthetic is almost identical. Like
Right.
it's definitely tributing that game. That's a game I sunk a lot of hours into. I think I paid like $20 for an Xbox 360 back in the day when I got like
classic.
a rehash or something. So I'll look around, but yeah, it's definitely like that Turtles game where it's on there and it's a good time for So maybe we'll bust it out in the come November. I'll put that on the list.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite section of the entire episode. Honestly, just the video game animation style that they had, especially when it would go to like Jubilee and Sunspots, like just point of view where it's like normal animation, and then when it goes to like what the I guess viewers are seeing, it's it's video game side. So all of that really just roped me into the Mojo stuff because obviously I wasn't very into the Mojo side. In the original show.
Yeah, I don't think I knew it was like I felt like the second I knew it was Mojo. I don't know if Dylan. I can't remember. I'd have to check the thumbnail because I don't remember if I saw him or not. But the second they got like sucked into something, it's like okay, well clearly it's Mojo. But I had been spoiled on. I knew there was a arcade like episode coming up, so I knew that was a thing. But that was a good time. It's almost like lots of the game got to kind of swap out for Morph, and when they switch into a different character, it's like, okay, we don't have Morph here to do that, but we're gonna go through different things. Like when we did the Savage Land, it's cool because I feel like either in predictions or episode 1 we were talking about like, oh, will we go back to the Savage Land or will we see something like that? We talked about Genosha, so it was cool just to get that for a moment. And I guess also in this episode they even talked about Genosha too. So it was like this is definitely more like almost similar to episode 1 where it's a nostalgia trip for the first half, and I had a good time with that. And I think it's good that they gave them like a little venture on their own because I feel like the old show would have them on the couch watching the movies, and then they would just kind of have like maybe a few more scenes throughout the series, and you just assume, oh, they must be a couple. But I do like that they're planting the flag on, okay, they're spending time together, they went on this adventure, and then they kiss at the end of this episode. So it's like, okay, we are firmly cementing Jubilee and Sunspot. I always forget his fucking name.
Roberto.
What's his
She
name?
calls him
Roberto.
Roberto, which I like that. I think
Roberto,
I'm gonna,
yeah.
It's a bit easier to say and remember.
Yeah, Roberto. Yeah, I like that it's established. Okay, they're a cute little couple. I'm excited to see if anything more happens this season. Like they're just happy. I'm
Yeah, you're
excited
right.
for Wolverine to find out.
It does seem like this could be like the conclusion of their storyline together. So I don't know. Maybe one of them get torn apart, or one of them is put into danger again in the way that
Kidnapped.
Sunspot was here. I guess
Yeah.
that's the thing you could do, but it does feel like almost too soon. But I'm excited that this is set up now and we can play with it from the rest of the season.
Yeah, because what, this is episode 4, right? And then so we have 5, 6, so we really, like I said, we only have 3 episodes because it might happen stuff. But again, I just feel like the finale is gonna be dealing with some of the bigger stakes. So I feel like those last 3 episodes, you're not gonna have Jubilee and Roberto like content going on other than being kidnapped. But like I said, that's my prediction, that you will at least see them hanging out or being chummy, and Wolverine's gonna walk in the room and have some fucking snide comment or something, or he might threaten Roberto. I don't know. I don't know which way, but I just feel like out of all the characters who would comment on them being together, Wolverine is the most likely to, and I'm excited for that hopefully to happen. But no, overall everything was just really fun in this episode, and it was a good time, and I'm glad Mojo's back. I was on Dylan's camp where I like Mojo. I got a soft spot for Mojo, and I think this is like the perfect route to use him. Not a big bad villain. He comes in, he gets taken out by like the lowest tier current X-Men. It's like, that's what I envision for Mojo, you know. But I'm ready for him to be in live action. I'm ready for Jack Black to play him. I want Jack Black
That'd
in the
be great.
MCU, and that's my fan cast right there. I think he would kill that role. So
With the eyes and everything, they get some crazy makeup.
Oh,
on
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
that-
he, fantastic.
Can't wait to
He'd
hear
be
his
like a
original
great
song that he does for the show too, or movie.
He would
Oh,
definitely make up
absolutely,
some
for
songs.
The
sure.
credits or
Oh.
something. Yeah.
Mojo Vision, Mojo World has to have some sort of Jack Black theme song or something.
It's in
And-
everything,
and-
right? Like it was in Kung Fu Panda 4. He just did the credit song for that. He did Mario with Peaches. So
He's doing
If
one
he's
for
on it.
Minecraft.
and probably
Hell yeah.
No, it's confirmed he's doing.
Clapbot trap thing, whatever he is.
Claptrap
He didn't do it for
Oh,
Star Wars
right.
though. It's the one that got away.
Let's not get carried away now. Let's
I
start. Star
completely
Wars is the
forgot he was
stopping
in there
point.
for a second.
I'll let him do Marvel, but Star Wars might be a bit much. But yeah, like again, too, I hope when we get live action stuff that we get some sort of like X Academy show where it is like the young kind of, not crappy X-Men, but up and coming. And because I just don't know if we'll get to see Mojo. Maybe he could be like an opening scene boss they like take out or something. But I was happy Mojo was back, and it was a lot of fun, good references.
Yeah, I like the updated version, like to what Dylan was speaking to earlier. It seemed just like kind of what happened with Jumanji, right? Like the old board game style. I'm not saying the old version was like that, but then in the next level, whatever it was called, or no, Welcome
you
to the
got it.
Jungle. That's what it was.
And then
they
there's the
had-
next level.
Yeah, and then they got the video game. So I definitely was thinking of that. I didn't see the thumbnail. I didn't see the thumbnail at all because
Thumbnail gate.
well,
Dylan's looking it up. I
when
can
I
see
clicked
his
on
I'm gonna
it,
go look. If I swear I did see him in there.
when I
It's a
clicked
picture
on
of
it, it was
Dylan.
like the end of. Just shocked.
And he gets sucked into this computer and he's gone. Ah.
Oh my gosh. No, it was like the end of episode 3, so I just like fast forwarded and then the next episode started. So I didn't get any spoiler there. As soon as it like happened though, I'm like, oh, of course, Motendo. Like, how did we not see
Yeah.
that?
He's in the
Predictions.
thumbnail. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Can you
But,
screen
uh,
share that? Just to confirm.
it's not
And yeah,
me. I promise.
I was not super happy to have him back, but I think it served its purpose for the episode. Oh yeah. Oh, that could be anyone.
Dylan, that's X-Men. That's X-Men 92, Dylan. That's an old episode. Yeah. Yeah, and some and some fun jokes about his weight loss and everything like
Yeah,
that.
which
so.
can you guys explain that? Is the size of his body powered by ratings? Because once the show started popping off
guess
again, he
so.
immediately came back to his original
Yeah.
size. So is that what's happening? His like nutrients, his ratings. Like I know he liked the ratings, but I didn't know it was physically powering his body. I think that's a fun twist on the character.
He feeds off it. Like he literally feeds off it. So that's kind of how I took it too, because if he did get bigger, then I would have said no. It's just like a character design. But he has been skinnier before in comics, so that could be a reason. Because I'm not too brushed up on my Mojo Vision comic books as of late, but I would assume so. That's fun. I like that.
One thing. So last, I forget which episode it was, but in one of the episodes, Morph appeared as Spiral for a moment, which is Mojo's
Yeah.
sidekick here, which not to me didn't like deconfirm that there would be a Mojo episode, but it felt like that's kind of a weird pick. Like I guess you're just trying to get Spiral where you can, but I thought it was interesting to see, like, of course, her be another kind of one of the sidekicks in this episode, and it makes me think of what you're saying there, Travis, with Savage Land. I hope that like just because we now got it here doesn't like deconfirm us going back there later in the season. I don't know how much time we have for such a storyline like that, but I just love that location. So I hope we get to see it. But then The other one being Asteroid M, which, we're definitely,
Yeah.
I definitely don't think we're going to see another Asteroid M this season. But I think that was fun to have that OG Magneto costume, but with the new art style was cool. Have him as the boss fight there. I love that she knows how boss fights work. She's going to wait for the right point in his cycle to go for the strike. Just really cool stuff. So yeah, that was a fun sequence there.
You never know. I feel like I'm trying to think with Savage Lands, like when would be, because I was looking at next week's episode. Next week's
That's where
episode
Charles
is Remember
That's
It.
where Charles is hiding.
Well, that's I just remember it. Like that's not Savage Land, because it could be like Remember It, right? But I don't know. That could be Gene and Logan stuff. That could be Scott and Gene.
I mean,
stuff.
I didn't
That
think
could be anything
Matendo
else.
would be a Mojo episode.
Yeah,
I didn't even pronounce it that way when I first read that episode title. a week
yeah. I
ago.
can't remember how we pronounced it.
Matendo,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, nice to see. What do you guys tell? I want to ask you. As if you were a part of the X-Men, there's a big debate on her birthday. The team, Beast, Logan want to have a nice time, show her a good day. You're a mutant, it sucks. But Magneto, who had to remind us that his family perished when he was a child, so always a ray of sunshine. He said, no, this is the perfect time to train her because no days off, and if you train her now, maybe she'll get more days off in the future. What approach are you taking? Are you Team Beast or you Team Magneto on the birthday bash thing?
I'm Team Beast. I was definitely laughing because a quick cut where she's in her room and she's just freaking out. What does she say? I'll see if I can try and quote it. I'm the master of magnetism. I will not be found in a place of child's games or something like that. Like I really like that. I would have loved to have seen Magneto saying that, but the whole setup of him just being like silent and then looking at him really just, it sold me. He's turning over a new leaf, and I feel like a part of him would have done it, but he didn't. And I think I love this new Magneto, but I'm on Team Beast. I think that after everything that's happened, I think having moments like that is it's important for a team. It helps grow the team, helps bond the team. If we look at Top Gun Maverick, those pilots were having to train all the time. No, you could take them to the beach and let them play football, have them a bonding
Take
moment.
those shirts off.
Take the shirts.
Get
Yeah, they go to the
But
arcade.
It's a
take
One
their
Republic
shirts off.
going.
But for the Top Gun Maverick thing, that was because they're not getting along. They're all getting along except for Magneto. He's the only stick in the mud here.
Then he needs to go to the arcade.
Other than what happened, okay, I guess it was Storm and then Jean and Cyclops, which I'll have a question about them after. This is probably like the best the team has ever been as a unit. I feel like everyone's getting along. They're saying it's. I don't think you need to worry about. We need a volleyball game because they already did the basketball game at the beginning of the season, right? They're good.
They're not getting along though. You see Gambit and Rogue, they're already crumbling.
They're not.
Magneto's
I won't
like,
say
I'm not taking
crumbling.
orders, Gambit. I'm
Rogue's doing
giving
just
them.
fine, Taylor. Rogue's
Oh, yeah.
doing
Yeah.
great. She's
glowing.
thriving.
Gambit's getting a little shaky, but I don't think it was like as confrontational as it could have been. But I do like. I don't know. I think it's different because it is an animated show and stuff. But I feel like this time they're trying to make it more adult. I was Team Magneto with the sense of Sinister's back and we got to get ready, because that's the thing. Like, if Sinister had not appeared yet and he has just royally effed the X-Men, he had like tricked them all into thinking Jean was a clone, or like everybody, not just Magneto. He tricked the whole team thinking Jean was a clone. I think that I would be in training mode because, one, who knows what else was like? Who else could be? Hopefully, Beast is testing everybody right now. I would want Beast like that'd be Magneto's the leader. Say, one, you got to test, and two, you got to train, because I
Do
don't
you
know.
think he tests
Sinister-
himself, or does he just have such a big ego that he thinks he doesn't need it?
Who, Beast or Magneto?
Like Magneto, does he get Beast to test himself?
No, but
Yeah.
that'd be a big contention point. I say Beast for sure for science, but Magneto,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I know me and stuff. But yeah, I think with Sinister and with this show, I feel like they were trying to make Sinister be more top level boss guy. I would have done kept some more training, Jubilee going. Roberto's still like new to the team, so I get it's a birthday, but maybe you have that celebration after Sinister's locked up. So I was Team Magneto on the decision.
I think I am too. Like, this whole Gene thing has been really treacherous. A few months ago, Xavier was taken out, and he's one of the strongest guys. Storm is not with the team right now. She's the most
Yes.
powerful of the mutants, so she's out of there. So they're extra weak right now. I'm opposite. You guys think they're in a good spot? I think they're
That's fair.
at like potentially an all-time low. Sunspot's on the team. I've seen him use his powers like once. He's not helping anyone in a fight right now. He doesn't know anything. And on top of that, they're playing a video game in their house and they're getting attacked by a villain. And according to Mojo, which I think he's lying about this, where he says that he has to have big stakes here. Apparently they would die in real life if they
Yeah.
die in the game. I think he was bluffing, but if that was the case, then their house is trapped with video games that are killing them too. Like I'm definitely Team Magneto here. They are weak right now. They need to recruit some extra members. Bishop's just left too. let's mention that. So they have no one right now. They need to.
I would say no one. They're low in the numbers. They're definitely.
They've lost almost half the team essentially in the.
I agree
last
with you
few
now.
months.
I agree with you now. Episode 1, they were strong, but now they're definitely in their Two Towers phase where the team is getting split up. I think they're still strong, but that's fair. Just like you were just saying, Dylan, in the comments, Christine Bentley here says, first Magneto makes it to Professor X's office. The Amnesia Green Gray makes it past the Great, and now the video game, they have terrible security, and that they do.
That's
They
true.
very
Magneto
much do.
did. He was just there.
Yeah, and like the alarms went off after he was already in the mansion, so it's not like they were that good, you know. So you know, yeah, I was already Team Magneto, but I'm even more so Team Magneto now because they need to be together. So Kirkland,
Yeah, try and defend that, Kirkland. What do you got?
yeah,
I hear what you're saying, but I'm going with Taylor on Team Beast over here.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
let's just,
Softies.
you know where we need to
Yeah.
recruit people? At the local arcade. Like, who knows? There's probably some powerful mutants there playing some
and if they say
pinball.
no, you got to make sure you
Quicksilver.
go back another time just to confirm that they're what they're going to say.
Just the one
right,
day,
Kirkland?
just the one day,
Just-
and then you know,
Make a
just like
choice,
everybody
yeah.
should have their birthday off from work. They, you know, everybody should have a training day off for like Jubilee. There you go.
She's 18. Like she's still a kid. Like she's definitely not.
Yeah, she
like
could be
a,
dead teen if she doesn't train enough.
At least she had fun.
You need to have morale.
You like that one, Dylan?
That was so
you Is it not true though? He could be, she could be done. She almost done today, you know. So she's got to train.
She's done amazing things so far. She's been through like things she shouldn't be
Wow,
able to
Taylor's
survive,
saying
but
she's
she's
done amazing
survived.
things.
She's done amazing things. So I think she
Yeah.
deserves one day.
I'm just getting flashbacks to the first ever retro that we did when you were just shitting all over Jubilee and look at you
Yeah.
now. You just turned over a whole new
come so
leaf like
far.
Magneto.
Yeah.
You give her one day off and she almost kills herself. So I mean, that's just goes to show you can't trust anyone these days.
That's true.
It's true.
And then we did throughout the game. There's a little helper out there. You know, someone with the mask takes off the mask, as someone alluded. Hunter alluded there, was voiced by the original Jubilee. So that was very fun.
That's
to
cool.
see.
Oh, I
think it's a
love
fun
that.
little-
That's
yeah, that's a fun little pass the torch Easter egg moment, and that was good. Which I guess is that just like for Mojo, is that just like a made up version AI of Jubilee or somebody, or is this character that's been stuck in this game for years? Because they said she makes this whole speech about, oh, you got to get out there and live your life, and it's like, well, how long have you been in here? You know?
I think it's an AI, but an AI that's just been gathering data for so long that it's become very wise for an AI.
She's like everything everywhere all at once lady. What's her
Oh
name?
yeah, Evelyn.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the daughter's name?
Oh, okay. Oh,
Joy?
I know Joy. Yeah.
Yeah. Joy. There you
Good. Continue. Continue, Kirk.
go. What was I talking about?
Old
It was a fun
Jubilee.
episode tonight.
Old Jubilee. Yeah. No, I really liked just the fact that it was the original voice actress, and I mean I didn't know that till now, but it makes it even better. I just like the idea of like the same version of, or sorry, the same person helping out Jubilee. That is Jubilee. I said that like a riddle. But no, I thought that was really fun. I was curious who that was going to be, and wasn't too unsatisfied with the result.
Yeah, I
Well,
love the
two
look.
Okay.
And I hope that Jubilee, like these energy blade things going on, becomes a part of her moveset. I hope that she learned how to do that here and she uses that from here on out. And I just think that was so fun. I like that they got to do the combo attack together with the super Jubilee powers. And you know, further on that energy thing, when Jubilee and Roberto kiss, I love that their kind of energies are kind of flowing together. I think that's quite nice considering they have similar-ish abilities.
Imagine if they just blew up and they're down 2 team members. You know, like
They're
the
knocking
Powers
boots.
Yeah, they
This is why we
defeat
should
the
be
boss,
training.
and then they just die because of their love. That would be very dark.
What a way to go, though. There's worse ways.
There's worse. Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there's worse ways.
That's up
it still
there,
could
though.
be painful, right?
That's up
Still
there. I don't know.
still
I
could be
think that's-
burning
I think that's a good
alive.
way to die. Burn? Would
Yeah.
you? Would it be like a slow burn to death? Because of
In my mind, it
sunspot?
was an explosion, but you never know. Maybe it is.
I feel like an
crumbling.
explosion. You're just exploded. Like there's all your matter. is just-
Climaxed.
and it just explode. Just like a big bang.
That's a big bang, all right. So also in these, do we have anything specific to say on Mojo or Jubilee? Because I have something to shout out about this, but it happens in the segment, but it's not about those characters. Anything about the game, Jubilee, Mojo, etc.
I had no anticipation that this was Veteran Jubilee. That was just the Road Warrior Mad Max style aesthetic. But I was super on board with that. Actually, it was really cool. I did not know it was the original voice actress. I think that's very cool that they brought her back to voice that character. But yeah, they're just dishing out the details and the facts of Jubilee. Like, you gotta live your life. You gotta go out there, experience every corner and crevice of what life has to offer. So
I don't think she said
paraphrasing.
crevice.
Paraphrasing.
I don't remember that line.
You gotta go explode when you can.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. So in this, they're showing a bunch of montage of, I can't remember where it was, but it was when Mojo was like going off, and I can't remember the placing, but I wrote the note. They showed a graphic that said divorce court, and then it said
Yeah.
Scott and Gene or something like that. Do we think that is just like a fun little, that's just playing on what could happen? Or do we think that's actively what is happening? Because they weren't in this episode, and we talked about, is that something that maybe they're going to decide, well, we don't know if I married you actually or not, so we're going to take a little break, or like, right? If she doesn't feel she married him or not, like, what is the state next week when we get to remember it? Because who knows what they're trying to remember. What is the state next week? Are they just broken up? Are they still together? It's awkward. Or are we're going to get some sort of thing that they're not married anymore? Because I could actually see them going down that route for a little bit. It was just, they put that in there for a reason, I think, right? I think they're trying, so far this season's done a good job of, they show a little thing and then they start to elaborate on it later. So
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're separated. That'll be my prediction. Not quite divorced, but I feel like that'll be the big like shock moment. Like we find out as the X-Men find out. Like if they tell them that way, it would make sense because of the whole cloning thing. Like it's another way to get to an interesting maybe love triangle again with Logan. Who knows? But I think it would make sense with what was built up with the story, and it makes it interesting. And I don't know, because after a while, like you definitely have your married off individuals throughout. Just like I guess Fantastic Four would be a good pull with Sue Storm and Reed Richards, that love dynamic. Like it's something that can be done for a while, but it's also just, I don't know. I think like it could get boring after a while if it was just that. But I don't know. I'm down for this route, and I hope they actually do it.
mm-hmm.
I'll go the opposite way. I think they're gonna make it through it. I think that's potentially. I mean, it would be fun if they did split up. That would be some good drama, and then we could get some fallout of where they go afterwards. But I think a more uplifting story in this case that they're gonna go for is them making it work and figuring out their differences, or the different people that they are in this interim period between the cloning and the abduction, all of that. So that's where I'm going. I think this is maybe just a funny Mojo bit, but I didn't really think about it potentially being foreshadow of like maybe a more caricature sort of way of something that actually is going to happen. So I think that's a good call out, but I'll go the more optimistic route here.
And the reason I just took like notice to is just because they both weren't in the episode. If they were hanging around at lunchtime or dinner, I'd be like, okay, it's just a joke.
Yeah, but also like Wolverine and Morph weren't really here much.
We saw them though. They were still at They were still debating the Jubilee breakfast thing, right? Where Scott and Jean were.
No, they said they were in Genosha though.
Getting divorced.
No, they said they were in the Genosha for the UN meeting. Remember?
Yeah, that's what they're telling the kids.
So
but
you're
no,
right. I mean, you're
They did say
right that they weren't here, but I do
Yeah.
think they gave a pretty valid reason for why they're not there.
Jean's like, Scott's gonna be here. That could actually happen though. One of them could be looking after Genosha while they're gone. Because Christine Brentley brings up a good example there too, talking about Emma Frost was in the opening credits. There is like a path where I could see if they do. I'm on Kirkland's bandwagon where I think separate to divorce. I think there could be something, because I think there could be a fun path of you let Wolverine and Jean pal around for a little bit, and because I thought, what do you do with Scott? But that comment there, the beginning, and we haven't touched upon in the show, it's much like Magneto and Rogue, where that's happened in the comics, but I never thought that was going to happen in the show. That would be a really fun way to bring back Emma Frost. If Scott and Jean and Emma Frost, if Scott and Emma Frost were to start pounding around, I would really enjoy that. That'd be fun. So
Where was Emma Frost as someone who skipped the intro?
They just showed a flashback to like the Hellfire Club in the opening credits. So in the opening credits every week they keep showing like flashbacks to things that have happened in past seasons.
Like
It was
last
just-
week on, like that kind of part.
Yeah, no, it was the so like how in the first episode they didn't show Phoenix, but 2 and 3 Phoenix was in there.
Oh,
They
okay.
yeah, so she was just alluded to, but
I guess
that
I
could
got to
just
be
be-
watching these because they are switching up the clips in there, right?
they are. So
Was
yeah, she
Bishop
was
in the
there.
team roster?
I remember seeing when he's on the team roster. Does he have the gimmick where he's spinning around in time?
That sounds like something he would do.
Okay, then he was definitely there though, because it was like him, and he's like, oh, and it's like he's going down to like a circular, like that's exact reincarnation. Oh, and he's getting blendered in time.
Blendered.
So, yeah.
Great
I
verb.
skipped that. I didn't see that one.
Are you guys skipping the opening song?
I'm there for the opening.
I skipped it today.
I got places
And
to be,
last
man.
week, yeah.
I gotta skip it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You're skipping. You're skipping
see-
the
you
X.
see that
I won't be
thumbnail.
anymore because apparently it's like plot relevant. I just, I've seen it a lot at this point. and
Here's
heard
me
it a
and
lot.
Taylor every Wednesday morning. We got watching this.
Chills.
Oh, I thought you stayed
He's
up.
good.
I thought you stayed up till midnight. Now you're watching in
do.
the morning.
I watch them both.
Mm,
I'm not
make
gonna
your
lie. I
mind.
fell
Liar.
asleep this episode.
You weaver
But,
of
yeah.
lies.
Fucking kidding
is-
me?
This is what I feel about you guys skipping their crap. Yeah, no. After the Mojo thing, which we're gonna, it was a little slow, the life death thing. So I was enjoying it, but I definitely took a little nap, and especially I felt like second Mojo Vision and Motendo and everything started. I was like, okay, it's not like a filler episode, which there's parts of it, but I felt like, okay, this is a week off from like the really important stuff. Like we're not gonna have big development. So the other weeks it's been like, oh, you couldn't put me to sleep. Like you'd have to chokehold me. This week, yeah, little gander.
Gotcha.
Terry,
I'm not
didn't
going to sleep.
before we move on to life death, what are your thoughts of next week when we see Gene and Scott, if we see them, right? Because we don't know what remember it means, but
Personally, I think I could see them steering towards
Got a
the
hairball
idea of
over
a
there? What's going
divorce.
on?
Yeah, I think a little mustache in my mouth.
hopefully it's
I
yours.
think. Oh,
That's not even sexual.
I think that there's still so much to play around with Logan and Gene, and I feel like we don't know when this Gene got the switch, obviously. So just to be thrust back into the situation here, where I mean, were you ever married to the guy? Maybe it was the toxic Gene that was married to the guy. So this Gene might
Toxic.
technically.
She was
Toxic
mind
Gene.
controlled. Don't gotta call her toxic now. It wasn't Madeline's fault, all right? She was being mind controlled.
She did call herself the Goblin Queen. That's like peak
Yeah.
That's pretty
toxicity.
toxic.
That's when she had the fucking gem in her head. The second it exploded, she made the turn.
She's
all
still got
right?
the gem in her head. Come on.
But it's exploded now, so it's not controlling her. Now it's just like a cool artifact to have, you know?
But I think that there's a lot of dynamic here that's going to unfold where this Jean's gonna, I don't know, she's gonna want to try new things. She's gonna
Some of that
she's
Logan
intrigued by
mustache.
Well, yeah, because Logan
hairless
reached
man.
out and shared his feelings with her, and so I think that's going to add a lot of tension between her dynamic with Scott and I mean, maybe vice versa, but I do think that we're going to get her distancing from Scott a little bit more. Whether they're going full on divorce court, I don't think we're going to get that far, but I think there's going to be a lot of turmoil in their relationship. It's not peaches.
See,
and
that's
cream.
first of all, Dylan, did you say Wolverine was a hairless man?
I mean, his face is.
He's got the mutton chops, right?
He got the
Like
mun
long-
chops, yeah. And he's
Does
all-
he? Well, I'm crazy.
Yeah, he's got he'll use that.
He doesn't have a
you know, but-
mustache though.
I was not yet. I was gonna say if they separate, I hope, because we talked about this last week when he was looking at the photo. Like again, he's looking at the photo of Madeline with his baby. I hope it's like a mutual separation. I hope, and then they can get back together in love. But I hope it's not one separated and the other one's pining after them, because I just think we've kind of been there and seen. Like I would like it if it's both. She doesn't know if she married that. Like she doesn't know if she married this guy. Wants to make her own choices, and he's still kind of hung up that hey, like. You're not the mother of my child. Was with this woman for 9 months, for at least for sure was with someone else for 9 months, right? So that's the thing. I hope it's a mutual step, and I feel like if if we want our fantasy booking of them getting like other couples, I think they have to be divorced for that. I don't know if they're going to be separated and then still be like, well, I'm going to go, like mesh boots with Logan. I'm going to go hang out with Emma Frost. Like I feel like, unless it's like I don't know, like a handshake deal. If we're going to go go play around and then find out if we were meant to be, I guess. I don't know. So
Gene's
Hall
just slinging
pass.
all this dong, and then Scott's just getting nothing. There's like a major skew. That'll be
just
a fun
just
dynamic.
Dazzler, and he wants nothing to do with Dazzler as well. So, do you guys have any other fantasy picks? I'll give you right now, just in case it happens next week. So take the Wolverine and Emma off the board. Kirkland, I'm gonna go with you. Who would you want to see Gene with, and who would you want to see Scott with? Or wait, I'll take an ad break so you get a second to think, and then everybody, I want not the obvious. Let's say it's somebody else. We'll be right back. Then we're gonna talk about life, death as well. Don't worry. And we're back. Oh, I'm back.
I'm back
It's weird.
too.
Everyone.
I don't know
Well,
what
you and
you're talking
Dylan
about.
froze, but Taylor didn't freeze, so it's really odd. So I don't know.
For Scott, I really can't think of anyone quick other than Dazzler, and I feel like that's kind of boring.
Go back.
It's been done before.
Okay.
Maybe Morph. Maybe Morph and Scott get something going. For just
Oh
some
yeah.
fun.
Morph can
if-
be whoever they want to be too. So.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They can go
Dazzler,
that
Emma,
route.
and Jean Grey. And you take your pick.
Whoever Scott wants. I don't think Morph is like it's all about just pleasing the other person in that sense. But I really don't know who I'd pitch other than that for Scott. And then for Jean, I mean, you got Logan. That's like another easy one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a deep cut character. I guess for Scott, I could go. Who was the 6-arm lady that was just in the Mojo?
Spiral.
Spiral. There you go.
Man,
Spiral.
fill all
and
his holes.
Scott.
Jeez Louise.
That would be cool. I could see that because it Spiral. The look on her face at the end of this episode was like, yeah, fuck Mojo, I'm out of here. That was the look I kind
It
of
seemed like a party.
Yeah, that's fair.
A partying last pairing up between those two, I think, in this episode. So it'd be a good little hero turn too. We were already talking about how the X-Men need more members. I feel like she'd be very useful.
Yeah.
I mean, Morph's already stealing her powers, so that's right there.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Taylor, Dylan, you want to go, or I got some picks if you want some time to think.
I got one for Scott. I think Calypso, the sewer master lady. I think that's the kind of person he'd end up with after this.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though she's long gone, she's in Genosha now.
Mhm.
For
Maybe that's why
Jean,
he's
how
going
about
there, right?
what's that? Yeah, true.
He's
Maybe he
gonna go
bumps
there,
into
right?
her when he's there.
Yeah.
And then I forget the name of this character, but remember, I think it was the last season 4 or 5. There was 5 seasons of the original show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Season 4 or 5, there was like that nerdy guy who like got like super soldier serum and was like super jacked and like was going to the clubs and stuff. I'm gonna go with that guy. I forget his name. But
Okay.
Yeah.
At first, I thought you were pitching Rogue's nerdy X, the guy that turns into like a bug. I was like, no, let's not.
yeah, not the
boy.
bug.
Yeah.
No.
Taylor, you need some time.
Honestly, Dylan, I was gonna pitch the same leader of the Morlocks gal that you picked.
Yeah, it's
I
perfect,
think
right?
That's perfect for Scott. It really is. Other than that, I mean, let's maybe like Lady Deathstrike. They could have a
Oh
interesting
fuck! He
relationship.
got his own Wolverine.
yeah.
Nice.
And Wolverine again is like, that was my woman.
Maybe it's just a cop out, but I'd love to see Jean Grey just like exchanging eyes with Magneto. And
I thought for sure he was going a woman. I thought for sure you're going a woman, but so he leaves Rogue to be with.
I'd be
Jean?
down for
Well,
Jean
no,
Scarlet
no,
Witch.
th-
That could be cool.
might not leave Rogue.
All right, so my two, I want to get some really juicy drama. So for some reason, let's say, Cyclops, Scott Summers is at Genosha. He's hanging out, setting it all up. And then someone knocks on the door and they're looking for Scott. Jean opens it and it's his brother Havoc. And they start up a little conversation. And that's how Havoc sticks around. And then, it's like Scott, but not. And then for Scott, I would want 2 options. And I want them both to be badass. Because not that Jean Grey's not badass, but she's definitely had 5 seasons of Scott having to worry, take care of her at times, right? I want someone that's given no fuck. So I either want Psylocke, Christine mentioned them in the chat. I want that because I just feel like Scott with this like badass person would be great. But then for the juice, what I'd really want is Mystique. Not for the morph joke of, Mystique changing in the gene. No, I don't want that. But just the sense of for some reason you got the Magneto dynamic, you got the Rogue dynamic, maybe Nightcrawler when he gets back, and then Cyclops is also with Mystique. I just think that's like a combination for fireworks all over the fucking place, and that could be another thing of even Magneto doesn't trust her. So that's what I think Scott has to go with. Is someone just like really tough and just kind of mean. Like Deathstrike's not a bad option either. Like he needs his Wolverine. He needs someone who like doesn't seem to have a good heart, but maybe Scott like pulls
You
it
can
out.
ride on the back of the motorcycle with whoever.
Oh, the motorcycle, yes. Yeah.
What do you think I was gonna
Yes.
say?
You just
Yeah.
said you could ride and then you stop. So.
Did you
Right
mention
now.
the Rogue part of that too? I think that'd be fun dynamic.
Oh yeah, I
Rogue
did.
being
Yeah,
like
that'd be
my
great.
mother. Come on.
Exactly, and then Scott's her
Corsair comes in.
Stepdad,
Gene Simmons gets some of
yeah.
that.
And then Rogue starts dating Corsair. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Oh,
yeah, that'd
God.
be fun.
Oh, Life Death Part 1. So this is episode where obviously Storm, she's hanging out with Forge right now. It's a combo of they're working on getting her powers back. She tries a couple times, that fails. We get two big revelations with Forge. That one, he creates some tech, not directly, but indirectly kind of giving them some blueprints or just kind of working on some modules that led them, yes.
I feel like it was
Must-
pretty direct, and he was just trying to downplay how much he fucked up.
yeah, kind of. He made the collars and other devices that could take away humans' powers, so obviously not a good thing with Storm. Then he also decided right after this to relay the message that he is fallen in love with Storm, which again, the X-Men, they fuck. But Storm, as we've seen so far with this season, lots of eye swaps, lots of will they, won't they. This, as right now, was a hard-on no, because she slapped him and left him and just said, no, like, I don't want anything to do with kind of the pity party, right? So, yeah, what do we think about the first part of Life Death, where trying to get Storm's powers back, but kind of a tense situation going on at home? We think nothing. We'll be back next week for episode
Taylor,
6.
what were you pointing
Taylor, you
at?
put your hand in the air.
No. You
Is that
guys
not?
go
Is that
right
not? Hey, I'm
ahead.
volunteering to
No,
talk.
Taylor, you go first. Let's hear it.
I was, but my I was gonna say something else, the back half of this part, but Travis like switched it into, into the
okay.
front part. I was like,
No,
oh,
go back.
I gotta
So it's
eat
Travis'
my
No, you
words.
don't.
Yeah.
You
okay.
can go all over.
I go, oh.
What do you think of Motendo?
Episode 1. Do you like the Sentinels are back? Let's
I was
circle
just,
back.
I was just curious because I felt like when Forge got eaten, that it was a dream sequence. It wasn't actually a thing, because he got like infected and stuff, and then Storm got flown away. Am I right to think that? Is this all a dream sequence, or is Forge actually like fucked?
Well, I don't think he's dead, but
No, he's just going through.
he's not in a
symptoms.
great spot. He definitely got infected with something.
I forgot to mention the big piece at the end too. My bad. I forgot about that.
So
yeah.
that actually did happen then, because
I
it
think
felt very
so.
dreamy. Like she was out riding her horse, then she fell through the ceiling, and then like
You're
Forge
right,
just
yeah,
runs
that-
in.
That part was pretty trippy. Yeah, maybe you're right, or maybe I think the horse part was the dream, and then in the dream, maybe she activated her powers or something. That's how she crashed through the floor. But I think that part was the dream, but then she woke up when she smashed through the floor, and then I think that was real. That's my prediction. But it
What?
did all have the dream sort of aesthetic to it.
I was gonna say, Taya, why were you going with if it was a dream or not?
Well, it just seemed peculiar the way Forge just easily got like taken out and eliminated, and then him saying it's a demon and all that kind of stuff, and just the way that the owl has been kind of flying around. I feel like it's just symbolic for whenever interferes or something she's experiencing, and I feel like that's
okay.
kind of goes hand in hand with Storm, because she's got a lot of inner turmoil that she's faced in previous seasons, whether it's like claustrophobia or the evil sky face guy. What was his fucking name?
The Demon King or
Yeah,
Shadow
that's
King?
the one.
Shadow
Shadow
King.
That's
King,
what I
yeah,
thought you were going to, because
I thought that's what it was.
if this appears to be, because I don't know what this fucking eagle bird man whatever could be.
Called
just
himself
some
the adversary was the name.
Yeah. What a lame name.
But I don't know if that just means like I'm your adversary. I took it as that was their actual name.
That's when all the bad guy names are taken, when you're just I'm the adversary.
Enemy.
But, yeah, antagonist.
My name
but-
is Villain.
yeah, bad guy. Yeah, so for me, if any of that is in the head or whatnot, I would imagine it's a Shadow King. Already has ties to Storm. We've like, which is would be kind of fun because it's like we got Mojo, which was not really like big advertisement. It's back. You got Sinister, Shadow King, so it's like kind of a best of, which that means in that goddamn finale we're gonna hear some apocalypse laugh or something. If we're getting all these villains somewhat back, I'm hoping that means my boy Omega Red is somewhere out there,
He's got to be.
greasing up those tentacles for another fight.
He's
but
the remember me type of villain, honestly.
remember it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Who's remembering him? Logan again?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
Because he
we'll
forgot
find
about
out.
him in the last, couple of years since we've seen him, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Unless
When was the
more-
last time we see him? Was he in the tank? Was he in that submarine, or was there a point
No, he
that
busted
showed up
out,
afterwards?
and I think they kicked his ass again or something like that, if I'm recalling. But maybe Morph will just turn into Omega Red. Logan gets
Yeah,
off on that.
That's
But
true. Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't sure. I think with the art style, you could go either way. Of it's an attack, and when Forge got bitten, it looked like he was getting lots of like stuff going through his body. So it could just be this thing puts out auras of an attack. It could just be literally an art style of, hey, we want this all going off, or it could be stuff going on in our head. So I really don't know. I was taken aback, but I think again, so far each episode they've done a good job of leaving you on some sort of cliffhanger. We're like, man, I want to know what's going to happen next, and we won't get to know what happens till 2 weeks now with these ones. I'm sure Storm's power will come back and she'll pop off, but it's all about the journey,
Mm-hmm. True enough.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. One thing I wanted to talk about here is I've never really understood what exactly is Forge's ability, and he kind of explains what his power is, which is essentially just like the plot of Limitless. Is kind of what I came to the realization of, where he can just dream up these crazy inventions that only his brain can conceive of, and only his brain can like put them together. So essentially, he's just like really smart, but only in like specific ways. Like he can make tech, he can make really good bison chili, but even then that's like his dad's chili, so I don't know if it's really his creation. So
He made it better.
he made it better. He put some additional some little paprika in there, a little extra something on top.
Couple screws.
Yeah, but the more interesting part about it is, which kind of ties into what he did in terms of like giving the government all that information, or I guess giving them like the prototype, whatever you want to call it, for that thing that can suck away the mutant powers, is that it seems like he it's like a vampire. Like he needs to create shit, or he just goes insane. I don't know if it's like his brain just starts popping off too much, and like Limitless that lets you hit 100% of your brain capacity. It like puts him at 120, and then he starts to disintegrate or something. Because otherwise, like, if you don't have the resources to build, couldn't you just like not build for a bit and then come back when you do? Or like, couldn't you get more inventive and make things with less resources? It just seemed weird to me that he, like, the solution for that problem was to go to the government, unless it is, like I was saying, like a vampire's thirst. Like he absolutely needs to do this or he'll die or something. But what was your guys' take on that? I guess that setup for why he did what he did. Anyone, please.
Go for Kirkland.
Oh. Yeah. No, yeah, you can go, Kirkland. Oh,
No,
Kirkland, I'd love to hear from you.
heard enough from me.
Take it away, Travis.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was, I won't say shoehorned, because I don't know when else in the show we would have got this revelation, right? Of like, I guess maybe back in the episode, but it would have just been weird if like, oh, we got this tech from a mutant named Forge. And at that point, it's almost like they would have had no touchstone to it. So I think it worked good enough to give them some drama per se. I'm more curious too of like, do you think that when he said he loved her, would she have said it back if he didn't give that information? Because I feel like she just still wasn't vibing in general. Like, I didn't feel like she was also falling in love with Forge. I could be wrong.
I mean,
but
love's a strong word. I don't think she would have been at the love stage yet.
yeah.
But I think there's more. I think there's something more going on with Forge in that confession also.
Yeah. So, like, it worked enough for me. It created some drama, and I guess I would prefer this more than maybe some other drama things. Like, I'm glad they just didn't make it that he did say that he loved her, and then, oh, that's the contention point. It's just they're not getting along because she doesn't have the same feelings yet. And I think that this could, I don't know where it's going to play into the future, no pun intended, with Forge, but obviously he is in Life Death 2. We've seen them using other weapons like that gun that did take Storm's power. In a sense, like, it's almost like, in a sense, they're not saying he directly was a part of the Sentinel. Like, he didn't create that version, right? Like that gun that took Storm's powers. But I still feel like almost in a way he kind of led to that type of technology being created, and that's also where I think that did add to Forge's motivations, because same thing, he's almost indirectly could have possibly caused Storm
Yeah,
losing
definitely.
her powers, right? So I think that's great motivation, and it answers everything of why did he just show up? Why is he here? I like that he talked a little bit about his backstory, which we kind of know a little bit of, but he just kind of reaffiliated that, especially for new watchers, because as we said before, that sure you can go back, but I think they've done a good job with Mojo in this, where for us who just watch all 5 seasons, we maybe don't need it, but I think they're doing a good job of you can jump in and just watch this. No, okay, this is who Forge is. So I liked it for the most part. Like I said, not that it's random. I guess it's just not where I thought we were gonna go with it. But I need to see a bit more follow-up. But overall, I liked it. So
Yeah, I feel like they were giving us certain answers to questions that I just really didn't need the answers to, like specifically like the roots of some of the, I guess, the tech that has been taking out some of our X-Men in the past. It's just, I don't know. I'm so used to there just being like something that just takes powers away. I'm so used to that. Even not just X-Men, like other shows, like in Avatar, for example. There's like certain people that can just take away like bending powers. So it's just like even like Dishonored, right? Like the overseers that have the music that just take away the powers. Like I'm so used to that kind of trope in it that it was just accepted. I do like that it kind of gives us more, I don't know, complexity with a character like Forge that maybe was like really in the background of past, like he would only ever show up in the Days of Future Past type segments of those episodes. So it is interesting, more so than just having like a random goon, like a random scientist just forget about, to have those, I think, links to the certain tech there. But I don't know. I really wasn't too, I don't even want to say like too fond of this like back half episode, but it was more so of just like, okay, like this is the start of this multi-parter here. I'm curious going forward what's gonna happen, but I don't think this was the top tier setup that maybe, I don't even know if I was expecting it. I knew that I was gonna get more Storm stuff this week, but yeah, it didn't really. I don't know. I don't feel like I had a hearty meal. I saw it on the menu. I knew I was getting Storm, but I wasn't super satisfied with my meal, I guess.
You
I'm a
didn't
little
have the
bit hungry
bison
after.
chili.
I didn't have the bison chili. No,
Yeah.
specifically Papa's, but yeah, maybe next time. Maybe I'll get Papa's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't expecting to get that little kind of backstory with this character and just how he was detailing it. And I thought, okay, that's interesting how his character can access 100% of the brain, because I was immediately thinking Limitless as well, Dylan. And him just
Classic
talking about
movie. Do you guys love that
yeah.
movie? I used to love that movie when I was a kid.
I enjoyed it. I never watched the show. I heard it wasn't that
Oh,
good.
Who's got the time for that? No.
Yeah.
Jennifer Carpenter from Dexter's in there. Love's a strong word, but I enjoyed it.
But yeah, overall, I think him pleading to Storm, like, "Oh, I love you, Storm," yada yada yada. I mean, I feel like this is rinse and repeat at this point. Everyone fucking loves Storm.
That's true.
So
well,
gorgeous.
what's not to love? You know?
Well, she's
Like,
great. I think it's awesome. But like every mutant seems to be in love with her.
You
It's
got to
like,
say
oh
though,
my
his
goodness.
he had some nice lines that he was saying of like, I could live forever, and in all those days of building the most beautiful devices, I could
Yeah.
never build something as beautiful as you. He said
Well,
it a little bit
Magne-
more eloquently, but that
yeah.
was like, damn, dude, that was
where
pretty
Magneto's and
smooth.
Magneto Charles just like, boy, are you hot? You know, it's you're
Yeah.
the hottest person I've ever seen in my life.
Storm, my beautiful Storm.
You know? Yeah. God damn, you're great out of gold.
They just can't even get their words out.
Yeah. I'm so flustered when you're in the room, Storm.
I definitely don't hold it against him for creating those, like the early concept for those.
You
those
don't?
neck guards. No, I don't, because I feel like it's just a mutant taken advantage of. It's like Logan being taken advantage of for what he was part of at the beginning, and I just feel like all these mutants that have gone through very tribulative past experiences where before mutant rights weren't a thing, and they were trying to find their place in the world, and humans were just taking advantage of them and exploiting them. So I think that it serves the fact that he understood that it was wrong, and he grew from that, and he's changed and worked for the better to better mutant kind, and now he's here trying to help Storm. So I think there's a lot of merit to that, and I give him credit. Plus, he's a hero too. When you look in the future, I mean, jump ahead like 100 years, man. The guy's a fucking saint in the future with all the stuff he's trying to do, sending Bishop all over the fucking place, like just like a madman. So he's definitely he's earned his merits. But,
you describe him as a saint and as a madman in the same sentence. It's
I
quite
love it.
yeah.
There were some moments I really enjoyed. I really liked them drawing the parallels between their powers because I cannot really name two mutants who have just complete opposite powers. Were Forge before this episode and never even understood like what exactly his power was, and versus Storm who has like the most bombastic powers like Omega level. Insane power, and to kind of draw those parallels between Storm really just being emotional of not having her powers anymore, and him talking about his need to use his powers too in a very different but same way, I thought was kind of just a cool thought. It makes you think about everyone else and their powers and how it's just it is like a part of their identity more than it's just like this cool thing they can do, right? Like, and without it, and obviously that changes a whole lot, especially for someone like Storm who, just like. She just misses flying around in the wind and how like suffocating it is, but yet how beautiful it is. I thought her wording there was really cool, and so I like that moment when they're riding the horses together. She can kind of feel a little. She can feel like 3% of how good it feels. I'm sure when she's like actually flying around in the wind there. I just thought that was a really sweet scene. So I thought they had just overall just some really great dialogue between the two characters, with a couple exceptions of those random plot points I mentioned that I was a little confused on.
It was definitely something different than I think anything really that we had seen, even just in like the old show. Just like heavy dialogue between two characters like that without too much extra things going on. So yeah, that's definitely a good shout out there. It was noticeable. I think just the fact that they were just in a beautiful terrain on some nice horses. Man, just watched Hidalgo right before this too, and then this episode I'm like, man, the crossovers. But no, so I did like that sequence for sure in this episode.
I'll keep going. Another thing I really enjoyed was the sequence when Forge, I don't know, he does something to try and help Storm recover her powers, and they go outside to test those powers, and so she's just like yelling into the air, and I really like that. It starts with like the very classic like, I am Storm and I summon the torrential wind, like something
Fuck
crazy
you,
like
rain.
that. And then she tries like a little bit lesser version of that, and then just down to like, please winds, hear me. She's getting very emotional. I thought that was a really great breakdown too, like kind of the fake out of the trees are moving, but then some birds just pop out. Once again, just really emotional, like really well done scene.
Yeah. I laugh, but no, it's really good. I just think about the disappointment you'd feel in that moment when you think something might be happening. Just a bird pops out. But I think the show's going to do a really good job in Life Death Part 2 when she gets that power and whether that bird or whatever it is, I think she's going to really pop off and we're going to see a Storm like no other, pun intended, but it's going to look up for that forecast, So yeah, great work. I think we say this every time, but still like great work on the voice actors too. I can't remember, is this the same Storm as before or not? Because I feel like if it's not, she sounds the closest to what she did in the original series. But
I would
thought it
agree with that
was.
statement.
I thought it was because of just how much it sounds like her. Certain individuals
so
really
too.
just stand out, I think, as being different, but no, she feels authentic.
let's see here.
OGS.
OG.
Yeah, I'm gonna say so. Born 1959. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was. So yeah, she just but she's like not to like I said, not to be mean, but like with Rogue, original voice actress, but still sounds like okay. She's definitely the voice is aged a little, but with Storm, don't get that feeling really. It sounds almost just like the exact same. Even Wolverine like sounds like he's aged a little, but that kind of works with Logan because he has that raspy voice. It doesn't even matter.
My beautiful Storm, you haven't aged a day.
Yeah, you have vocal cords of an angel, but.
Just doing those vocal exercises, keeping the vocal push-ups going.
I'm the goddess. Anything else?
I got a question for you guys. So Forge confesses his love here, which seems incredibly quick to do such a thing. Now I understand this is an animated show, but to me I was getting more vibes, and even just the way Forge shows up in the story and what was like the cliffhanger of, was it last week? It all felt very rushed in a way, and it makes me think like, do you guys think this Forge came from the future, in a future where he was with Storm and that Storm is no longer around, and that's why he loves her and it feels so strongly and wants to help her, and yeah, mostly just that love angle of it, and that's why he's so invested in her and wants to go down this route. To me, that would explain in a way why Forge is here in the present day, which doesn't make sense for the, this is a continuation of 92. It doesn't really make sense why he's here, and we haven't talked about that yet. So That's kind of my ongoing theory, which I think could be a really interesting angle if landed correctly. Which I mean, this show's nailing it so far, so I'm sure they will.
I really hope that is the case, because if it's not, I think this is just it like brings down some love that I had for Forge. He was never a top tier character in my mind, but yeah, if he's just, I mean, it sounds like Storm is just literally a goddess. Everybody's fallen in love with her right
How could
away.
you not?
But yeah, there was definitely an observation I had, just how quick it felt to get to there, especially just if he had found her in a bar like last time we had seen them. Yeah, no,
How long have they been in working together though? That's the thing.
not long, I would imagine. A couple days.
But did they give us a time?
I don't
Has it
think
been
they
a
give us
couple
time.
days?
They said 4
9
hours.
months.
That's what they
Like,
said.
yeah, it's 9 months. She's pregnant. He's like, you know.
Definitely no more than 2 days for me.
You think so? 2
I think so.
days?
Yeah.
I
What
thought
do you
at least a
think?
few weeks. Leaning into a month.
If it is a few weeks, that is a huge con for me, and I feel like we needed to see more of
Okay.
that relationship develop.
I'm also not saying a few weeks would justify him being that in love as well, but
I mean, I don't
do
think
get-
it would take long for Storm. She's something
Of course.
special, but 2 days is a bit much.
I don't know. I'd be in love with Storm for 2 days, but yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
same,
get the vibe.
actually,
I got
yeah.
the I got the vibe. You might be right about there might have been something, and it's that classic movie time traveling tale where you're in love, but they don't know yet. But the problem is Forge fucked up because you're usually not supposed to say those things. You're supposed to try and let them happen naturally. Everyone go watch About Time, greatest rom com of all time. That gives you the 411 what you're supposed to do there. Forge not making great choices because now it's maybe putting the cart before the horse a little bit. So, and it's tough though because
Pun.
right away before I go, I'm like, oh, but she's supposed to be the Logan. But then I always forget that, well, that was like a possible future, right? Like I always have in mind they're going to end up together at some point, but that was a future that was gone. Like they killed that future, right? So not necessarily has to happen. So, and even then, maybe there was some. Maybe she was with Forge until she fell in the arms of Wolverine and he got cucked out. I don't know, but I do think it's something that he could reveal. Forge, I think, is going to be all. This episode he revealed the love thing. He revealed the collar thing. There could be more. So, yeah, I think it's a possibility that something was happening in the future. Those two. Again, we've don't know Forge's age and when the real Forge is there, when he's not. It's been all over. So same thing of like, even in the future, I guess I'd have to go back. I don't know, was Forge in that episode? Remember when Wolverine and Storm were married? Because I just feel like Forge is considerably older than them, and Storm being alive would not track. So it's the problem with time travel stuff, right? Of like who's when and what's where.
They seem
so,
about the same age to me.
yeah.
Definitely
Okay.
here. They just, I don't know if it's the way they animated them or drew them, but they definitely seem same age.
But like, but I'm saying like if when he was born, I feel like when we looked at that Days of Future Past, remember they're like hundreds of years in the future. Like she's dead when he's born.
Right.
You know.
To me, I feel like in this show, there's like you're either super old like Magneto and Xavier, you're a kid like Jubilee and Sunspot, or you're just all the exact same age at like whatever, like 37 or something. Like all the characters look identical in age to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Where are you leaning over there, Taylor? What's going on? You got a fly there or something?
A fly. No, I'm
Yeah,
scratching
you
the
just-
side of my leg. I'm leaning over, getting
Oh,
a good
good.
angle on
Oh,
it.
you're.
Did you get
rubbing
it?
That's
something.
a great angle.
Oh, I'm getting it.
Good. Anything else on this episode? You still all for dog review? She's like, you're not itching your leg, are you?
I have two things that are actually from the first part. We didn't mention them earlier, but one is the second time we've seen Blob this season. He was in the Genosha section, so that's interesting, notable. The other thing was we kind of skipped over this sequence. I think Taylor briefly mentioned it, but the Rogue, Gambit, Magneto like coffee scene at the very start of the episode, where Gambit's like, here's the sugar for your coffee, Rogue, and she's like, oh thanks, but then Magneto comes in and he's already done it perfectly, or he's about to, and he knows, oh, it's clearly 3 spoons of sugar, which is a lot of sugar for Rogue, but she's worth it. But
Yeah.
and then I love even the line after that Gambit has where he's like, oh, next time you're getting coffee, he's like, let me know. And Magneto's like, no, I'm not. No. he does not even humor him in any way, which is just savage considering,
I don't take orders.
all that's
So-
happened between
yeah.
them. So I just loved how cold Magneto was through that whole sequence. And Yeah, just rubbing it into Gambit. So that was a really fun. That's like the peak of what I want from the relationship drama in this show.
Yeah. I just wanted Gambit then to go 52 pickup and throw a whole deck of cards at him, just explode them in front of everybody, you know?
You get kicked out, man. You don't mess with the boss.
Or maybe it's like Prairie Dog rules. He just becomes the leader now of the X-Men, you know? I was watching a National Geographic doc last night, Prairie Dogs, so
I was gonna say.
they fight a lot. They fight a lot. It's crazy how much they fight over territory, but I want him just to throw a card. I just so badly, and I know Magneto will like win, pretty much, but I do want to see Gambit like fuck him up a little. But that's what I was gonna say. Who makes the first physical? If we get a physical altercation, who makes the first move?
Oh, it's gonna be Gambit.
Gambit
Gotta
for
be Gambit.
sure. Magneto does not think twice
Bet the
about
house on
Gambit.
Gambit. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the only reason I'm leaning Magneto is because we have to get to Rogue picking Gambit, and he has to do something shitty. And I could just see them arguing, and Magneto throw his big magnetic dick around. But while doing that, that turns Rogue off to be like, well, like him just throwing a metal piece at him or something like that. I could see Magneto making the first move and Rogue actually not being attracted to that, thinking like kind of little man syndrome.
To be clear, you don't think he actually has a magnetic dick, do you?
This season, yes. Charles left in his will. He's like, "Oh, you left this back at my place."
Wait, is it an attachment?
What? Yes.
It's like the helmet for his dick.
Just clips right on there.
Charles couldn't give me fake boners when I wore this metal cock. I always hard man, you know. Oh, Charles took my aluminum cock. But no, I just think that if someone's gonna like Gambit is the hot head one. So here's the thing. If Gambit makes the first move, it's because Magneto does something shitty to Rogue. I'll say that. Like I don't think they're gonna make him like hit her or something, but something to that extent. I don't no, like I meant like you know what I mean, like push her away. I don't think they're gonna do that. But I feel like
taking a direction.
I don't think Gambit's just gonna start fighting. I could be wrong. I hope there's some altercation though. I want to see him fight.
There's little digs like this week after week after week. I can see that building up to him popping off a bit.
Gambit's shown more patience than maybe I would have given him credit for.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Magneto, we did see, obviously, he's turning good, but he did almost just execute an entire Senate 2 episodes ago. He held back, but he took them up to space and was just going to murder everybody. So he does also have a short fuse when needed, you know?
Yeah, but I think
when not
Rogue
needed.
is calming him down.
Oh yeah.
So what if she turns him down and says, you know, because we've not got a confirmation, which I did see. Someone put it on our YouTube comments and on Marvel Alliance, they talked about that. That I don't know if it's confirmed or the theory is that Rogue and Magneto were actually not training. Morph just programmed the computer to do that just to fuck with them. So that might have just been a joke by Morph. So
You think
again,
Morph's smart enough to like do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
He's doing nothing. They're doing nothing else. They're just sitting around changing into people and playing tricks. So
True. I guess if Morph gets powers, Morph could turn themselves into Forge and then be a fucking limitless, huge brain
Right.
person. So there you go.
I'm just saying again, no confirmation that Rogue and Magneto are shaking boots yet.
Oh, they're clapping cheeks.
I put it a bit more nicely, but no confirmation yet. We're almost halfway through the season, Kirkland. Nothing.
It's gonna be in the intro of next week's episode.
Remember
I'll be
it?
watching for it.
Remember it?
Bleep.
Ah! Just a smash cut of Magneto climaxing.
Is that what's gonna? Yeah. Rogue is back with Gambit, and then Magneto's like, "Remember it," and then he just drops it.
Yeah.
It's like the Spider-Man sequence. It's like last night I was.
And then she just touches Magneto, gets his powers, crushes his cock when he's wearing the aluminum cock
Oh
ring.
my
He's got the metal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, she'll just crush it. Okay, anything else? You want to get out of here? Before we go down any more
That's all I
rabbit
got.
holes?
Let's end on the aluminum cock.
I will give this. I'll give it 1.5. I think that overall it's a 1, but I think the visuals between the actual arcade stuff, like the the old school gaming stuff, and I actually think Mojo looked really good at times. That's where I am, 1.5 there. So visuals kind of tipped over. I think I don't know. I liked it enough, but I don't know if I want too many. I'd have to maybe see one more, like in season 2, if we get another half episode. I think I need one more. I think I lean on the side if I still like it being a full episode for one, but like I said, maybe I need one more taste. But overall, 1.5. That's what I'll give it. Still strong episode. Enjoyed my time with it and had some fun talking about it.
I'm gonna go with I'm still, when I think about my rankings for this, I'm kind of considering how I rank 92, and to me this is like, this would be one of the best 92 episodes. So I'm gonna give this a double thumb. Still, it's still
double
it's
thumbs.
of course as I mentioned, it's lesser than the first 3 episodes that we've got this season, but I think that's just once again how good this show is. And I think the more we talked about some of the scenes with Forge and Storm, like I do think my score could change based on what actually happens there in terms of the plot. But for what we had today, I'm just gonna drop the double thumb, and I don't think I'm gonna regret it either.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go one single Deadpool thumb up right there.
Oh,
Look at that. That's a special thumb. It's a little thumb, but it's up. So just one of those this week.
When did you purchase
Little-
that Deadpool
little
guy?
thumb.
I have
for a
no
little
idea.
mouth.
I've had it for so long on my desk. I think Shay might have just had it one day and gave it to me. I have no idea the origins of this Deadpool, but he just stares at me while I podcast.
I love that.
Also got Kirby as well.
I am going to, little Kirby. I'm gonna sneak one little thumb up in there and join you, Kirby.
Another Deadpool? Another Deadpool
Yeah.
thumb? He's very
Yeah.
small.
There you go.
well, there we go. We'll be back next week with Remember It. See what's happening. Hopefully, get some fun juice going on there. No idea. Even on Wikipedia, there's no
juice.
plot synopsis or anything, so it's fun, kind of not knowing what's gonna happen next. But I bet it'll not be boring.
Bye-bye.